Today I will show you how I make a very pretty flower as an Irish lace motif. One of them. I'm adjusting a light a little here. So we want to see how to make it. It's very easy to make, very pretty. It could be in the size of the orchid with the space left for a stem, or just with 5 petals like orchid usually looks like, or like this with almost a consistent gap between all of them, basically the full flower. I think a little more space here, but basically you can make it the full circle with petals. You can make it with 3 petals, and it is very easy to make. It's a medium-sized motif. It goes nicely pretty much everywhere. Doesn't have to be a focal point, but super easy to make. I did find this design online on YouTube, I believe, but it was done differently. This gap was a lot bigger. The empty spots here between the center of the petal and the edging was something I didn't like very much. So I made it to my liking, and it is super easy. So let's do it. I need the clippers to clip the yarn. I need the yarn or the thread. I need the hook. I'm using size 3 yarn, and I'm using 275 millimeter hook for it. I want to brag a little bit. I got this little thingy in thrift store. So yeah, that was the price, and it was 50% off. And I like it very much because my thread is not flying all over the table or the floor or the entire room. I can pull the thread through any hole in this basket to my liking. And it's just incredible how for $1 I can find something so useful. Anyway, enough of bragging about things. Let's do it. So the upholstery needle I use to hide the thread when I'm done with the flower. And basically we start with the ring, which is a common start. You don't need to count. I usually go 10, 11 times. Yarn over my finger, and then you just pull the thread. You get the hook under, pull the thread, and like this, and tighten it. Make a first loop just like that, and take it carefully off your finger. You get a circle with a bunch of loops and the slip stitch. So let me get it a bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. And we're doing now as many as you wish, and that is just basically as many as you can fit, single crochet. If you do want to have a complete flower, I suggest you make it the number of single crochet, that number should be, you should be able to divide it by 5, like 25, 20. If you wish to have a complete circle of petals. I personally don't really care, and I don't want to count, so I just make as many as I can fit into the circle that I made. And they do need to be kind of tight next to each other, but really not super tight, because you will need your petals to not bunch on top of each other, so you want some space in between them. I can actually make it a little tighter, but it really should look like this. Not too tight. Still have space for 1 or 2 single crochet right here. When I'm done, and I think I'm done, I think I at least have 20, looks like, maybe more. But since I'm going to be making 3 petals flower, I don't really care how many I have. So I finish my row of single crochets with a slip stitch into my first single crochet. Just like this. Very pretty ring that actually could be used as an element of by itself, but for the ring, you really want it tighter and you want the edges to look downward. So maybe one day we'll see how we can do that. So now to start with a flower, I go 5 chain. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 chain up, and then I go 1, 2, 3, yarn over. We're going to have double, double treble crochet, and the trick here is to go into the same stitch where the 5 chain is coming from. So if you actually pull it, you can see where it's coming from much better. I already kind of know, and I will show you. It's coming right from that one. So we go 1, we go 1, 2, 3, yarn over, tie it. So it's tied, and you see this when I'm pulling, you see the opening down below where this chain is coming from. Stick your hook into there and do the double treble, and without finishing it all the way until you have 2 stitches on your hook, and leave it like this without finishing it. 2 loops on the hook, another double treble crochet in the same stitch, in the same space. So until you have 3 loops, and the last one, 3 yarns over, going into the same space and doing the double treble, but not all the way through. And now you have 4 chains on your hook. What you do here is you go and pull the thread through the first 3, basically getting the top for all 3 treble crochets, and then slip stitch through the last 2 chains. So you you're done with this, and now you go 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain to go and complete the paddle. The base of the paddle, we're not done. Same space where you were getting all your treble crochets, slip stitch into there. And then you're going to go and rotate your crochet a little bit and get the slip stitch into the base of the first 5 chains for the paddle. You got the slip stitch, and it looks just like that. You basically turned around, and now you're going to go under the first 5 chains and do 10 single crochets under that chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They need to be tight so you can push your single crochets a little bit. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see. We did. You can always count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, and 10. So we did that, and then you find the top stitch of your treble crochets, the chain that made the top for your 3 treble crochets right there. You push the hook under the both loops of that chain and do the slip stitch. Now you make a picot here by doing 3 chains up and the slip stitch into, you can grab whatever is available, but you want two loops of the stitch, and you do a slip stitch into the picot right there. It will straighten itself up. And you go under the other 5 chains that you made of the paddle and do the other 10 single crochets. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can push it for the ease of completing the paddle. I believe it's 9 and 10. We can always check. So this is a picot we made. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have to make one more. Make sure you don't grab those 3 and go underneath the chain, 5 chain you made previously. Now you find the space where you were doing all your crochets, treble crochets. I need to look at my crochet instead of the camera. Let's see. Right there. And you make a slip stitch, just like that. So you completed your petal right there. Looks pretty already. And now you just created a slip stitch and completed your petal. Now you find, like, this is that space where you were working with. So you go to the next stitch of your circle and do the slip stitch. 1, 2, and 3. 3 slip stitches. It's just to give a little space between the petals because they're kind of puffy. So you just completed 3 slip stitches into your circle, and you do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain. There, your space right there where you're going to do all your treble crochets. And you go 1, 2, 3, and make a double treble without, don't forget, without completing it all the way through. So you have 2 stitches on the hook, another treble. You have 2 stitches and 3 yarn over. Tie it so it's not too loose. And into the same space, you make another double treble without completing it. 3 stitches on the hook. And you go again and do the double treble. And you have 4. When you have 4 stitches, time to finish it up. You don't forget, don't go all the way through. First, just get all 3 of your treble crochets together and then slip stitch through the chain. Now you make 5 chain and you go back and do a slip stitch into the same. Don't forget to tighten your thread. You do not want any stitches hanging in there. So there you completed the base of the petal, and now you go into the base of your 5 chain of the petal, and you do the slip stitch. You're ready to make it look pretty. Find your chain and start doing single crochets. Sorry, I was ready to do the double. So here is 1, 2, 3. So you make 10 of them. And just like a first petal, you finish the second one and the third one. And I will show you how to finish the element. You can actually do the little single crochet backwards to make the leftover of the circle look pretty, or you can leave it like that. But when we're done with the third petal, I'll meet you there. So you finished your 3 petals, or as many as you wanted, and you have your last stitch, slip stitch, that came out of the main working stitch on the circle that we worked the whole petal from. And I was telling you that you can do finish this edge of the circle with the single crochets backwards. For this reason, you have to rotate your flower to the wrong side and do the single crochets backwards. So for that particular reason, if we want to do that, there are many different ways. You can finish your edge. There is another stage that I want to share with you, but I can't do both at the same time. So let's do the single crochets backwards. You do 1 stitch and turn it over. At this point, you start doing the single crochets into each stitch of your circle, but you do it backwards. It creates a 3D effect of the edge of the line. So you go single crochet but backwards into each stitch like that under both loops of the previous row, and you do the single crochet but backwards, just like that. We did this one. Looks like that one is the next one. To maintain the same gap between them, make sure you go into every stitch. Or if you go missing one stitch, make sure that you're missing every second stitch. So one way or another, we're going, as you can see, into each one. So the next one is that one. Yarn. Grab the yarn, pull through the stitch, and single crochet, just like this. The good thing about that is that it creates a 3D on both sides. I actually cut the yarn already. I knew how much I need. And that's how it looks on the wrong side, and that's how it looks on the right side. And the edge looks a lot prettier than just a raw edge of the circle. So that is your 3-petal pretty flower that made this peacock. Doesn't want to stay. It's just, you can always iron it and it will look fine. Or when you're doing your backing, you grab the tip with your netting and it will pull the picots out. So there we go. 3-petal flower, identical. I have 5. So I like those flowers very much. I hope you like them too. Thank you for watching.